Binge Buddies, who, what, when, where, and why we do in the shadows. And your host is always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog, Tarman, Dykes.
Tarman, like
Tarman,
like tar, as in tar pits. Tar.
Yes, that would be a very good way to describe it, but that's not what this is talking about.
Is it tar, as in?
I can give you a line,
like a Yorkshire person saying tar, meaning thank you, like tar, mate.
No, tar like you're covered in tar.
Oh,
but he's not covered in tar. They just call him the Tar Man.
I was going to say we've already done the Tar Man in Star Trek Next Generation, which is called Armus.
That's true. This one's name is Tar Man. Fans of this movie right now are going like, "How the fuck do you not know what this is?" Like they're losing their minds. Like Tar Man's a pretty famous one. He's got one line. You ready for it?
Tar, mate.
Brains.
Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, it's Return of the Living Dead.
There you go.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't realize he was called Tar Man, to be fair.
Yeah, he's called the Tar Man or Tar Man. Yeah.
Good film, to be fair.
I had actively hated that movie for a lot of years because I'd seen it in high school once when I thought I was watching Night of the Living Dead or something like that. I'm like, this sucks. Why can't the zombies talk? I hate this. This is stupid. And then a friend of mine from over at the Front Row Network, Jason Hoffman, was like, no. You need to watch that movie. Like, go back and check that one out again. And a big shout out to the Front Row and Jason Hoffman and Flashbacks, which is where I chat with him the most. Great show. Everyone should check it out. But he convinced me. He's like, no, give it a shot. Go back and watch it again. And I bought the Blu-ray the day after I watched it. I was so obsessed with it. Like, Jason could not have been more right. Fucking incredible movie. I love Return of the Living Dead. I even love the sequel. Third one, but the first two, great.
I ain't actually seen the second one. I've only seen the first one.
Second one's great. It's just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
I shall check it out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Annoyingly, the third one was on Amazon Prime a while back, and I was looking for the second one, and it was like, you got to pay for it. I was like,
And the third one's not that good. It's okay. It's meta before meta things were cool. Anyhow, we also have Joel. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Rawhead Rex. DeWitte.
Rawhead Rex.
Yeah.
I know that. and I'll tell you why I know that. Because Arrow Video in the UK have released it on Blu-ray. And,
why?
Yeah. And it's always in their sale. Always.
I'm not
and I
surprised.
can, as soon as you said it, I can picture the cover.
If it's always on sale, then it's never on sale. You realize that,
So you know
right?
where Rawhead Rex is from.
Yes, I do.
You think Joel knows where he's from?
Now, why do you ask questions you already know the answers to?
Because you know the name of this movie. I can use the same joke 2 weeks in a row.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Last week, I was so excited about this week because I knew I was going to do it again.
You know, you're just sowing a seed of distrust throughout this whole process.
Well,
I mean,
think
more fool you for ever trusting Brian ever.
That is very true. And Joel's known me way longer than Matt has, so that's really
I should know better
Joel.
by now.
Yeah.
I have not seen Rawhead Rex, but I've always been a little interested because the design of Rawhead Rex is so ridiculous. I just kind of need to see it at some point in my life. So,
if it looks anything like the cover, I'm 100% with you. I am fascinated to actually watch it at some point just because of how insane the design is on the cover.
It's also Clive Barker, which is interesting to me. Like that alone gets, piques my interest of, that could be kind of insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm actually going to check this one out. Whereas a lot of these I've blatantly ignored.
Let's do a bonus binge buddies where we live stream watching Rawhide Rex for the first time.
Oh my god, I would absolutely if we want to do streaming bad horror movies for binge buddies, I would absolutely do that. That would be so much fun.
That would actually be quite cool, I reckon.
Oh yeah, well eventually we'll get to all the good ones. You know what? We're gonna put a pin in that. I like that idea. We might circle back around to that. But before we do that, we should probably do the episode that we're here to talk about today of what we do in the shadows. And this week we're talking about collaboration.
Are we collaborating on this one?
I'm gonna, especially after what Matt just said, I'm gonna jump out there and say this might be my least favorite of the season. And I say that kind of like with what Joel said last week of even with it being my least favorite, it's still phenomenal and still has great stuff in it. I just think when I think about season 2, en masse and like all of its great highs and lows, this for me is usually the one where I'm like, I could probably skip that one if I had to. There's great things in it, don't get me wrong, but on the whole, it's just not my favorite.
I mean, like, we record these in like batches of 2. So there's usually, like, in these batches of 2, there's always usually the better of the 2 episodes. It's very, like, you know, and every now and again I get like an episode where I'll be rewatching it for like taking notes and things like that, and I'll go back to like watching one episode and I'll be like, I don't really remember what happened in this one. And Collaboration was another one like that. It was kind of like I started watching it, I was like, I don't really remember what was going on, and then as it starts going on, you start to remember. Well, I start to remember a few bits and pieces from it, but I totally get where you're coming from, because the stuff that does happen in there, like, there is some really funny moments in it, but it isn't, you know, like, when you compare it to like an episode like The Return, or freaking the one the week before, which I can't remember the name of the episode, but Jackie Daytona, like, you compare it to those episodes, and it's just, it's very, it's like you said, it's skippable in terms of, like, you know, you need to see it because of, like, I'm guessing from like a story progression thing and like as a character development point of view, you know, especially with Guillermo's storyline. But I think in terms of, like, you know, on a rewatch, it is probably one you could just skip.
Yeah, and like there's some amazing story beats, like legit character growth between Nandor and Guillermo in this episode. That's, you know, very important for the lore. But it's kind of like what you said. Once you know that this is where that happens, like, there's not really a ton in here that would keep me coming back over and over. Now, granted, if I'm watching season 2, I'm not going to skip it just for the hell of it, because it is still a very good episode of TV. It just, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably like the bottom rung for me. But, you know, who knows? Maybe as we talk about it, that could change. Joel, where do you land on it?
I think Matt sort of touched upon it right. Like, it's I enjoyed the episode, but it did a disservice for us that we did this back to back with The Return, because you're going from such a zany and madcap episode that just has a lot going on to something that this episode sort of relies on an old TV show trope of a breakup, two people realizing that the grass is not greener on the other side, and then a reconciliation. Right. So, and sometimes using that standard template creates opportunities for just some great stuff. I don't think that they do that, though. I think it sticks a little bit too close to the template.
And it feels like maybe it's that they stick too close to the template, or maybe they thought they'd struck gold on something that maybe it just didn't click for us. Like, it feels like, to me, the idea of comedy in this episode largely comes from Celeste. And, like, the whole, like, vampire who's like, oh, I'm going to turn all of my familiars within 8 months. Work for me for 8 months, and I'll turn you into a vampire. Like, that whole character. I feel like that's where all the comedy was really supposed to be, like, sinking in. And just none of that really landed for me.
Honestly, it kind of feels like a lot of that like, her storyline, though. Like scenes with her, it feels like a lot of her scenes may have ended up on the cutting room floor, because it sets up a lot of stuff with her. And then she's barely in it. Yeah,
that's true. She's more of a plot device of just like, no, she's just the other woman while, you know...
She's literally a MacGuffin.
While Guillermo's out there, like, testing the waters, it's like, oh, no, he spent some time with another woman, but they didn't get serious. Like, okay. Let's go a little bit more chronologically. So this one starts... Does it start with Benji coming back? Is that, like, right where it kicks off?
It starts with Laszlo eating the jogger and hearing "Come on, Eileen."
That's right.
The jogger just being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you."
What the blazes? You got to be kidding! I didn't say anything. Please just shut up. I'm not talking to you, jogger man.
This the just the perfect delivery of, like, why is my food talking? Can you just shut up? Like, this isn't even murder for me. This is just a snack. Can you just chill? So that launches Laszlo and Nadia down their spiral of, apparently they've been writing hit pop tunes throughout all time, and they just keep getting ripped off.
Yep.
So that puts them down. That's their entire journey, is just going through their old music. Like, that's their entire story. It's funny. That's where the whole thing goes. And they attach to Colin Robinson, who's going to get them to go to an open mic night, because what better place for an energy vampire to feed than an open mic night?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The little bits of Colin Robinson just coming in and putting his little comments in is just gold, though. Like, the thing with, like, oh, make sure you do some new stuff, because every concert I've been to, when the band says, oh, okay, we're going to take a break from all the hits and do some new stuff, the crowd goes wild. I mean, I've literally never been to, like, a proper, like, live music gig or anything like that. It's just never really been my thing. But even I know that is not the case.
I mean, Jill and I were part of a group that would go weekly?
Pretty damn often, yeah.
If not multiple times in, like, the same day. And yeah, I can speak to very much, as soon as they'd go, and here's one of our new ones, the audience almost every time is like, oh, good, it's time to get a beer.
And you know, the bands that do that know exactly what they're doing, because it's like, maybe they love what they came out with, but if the fan reaction's been kind of middling, it's like, you still have to tour with the new stuff, but you gotta squeak it in somewhere between all the stuff people actually want to hear from you.
Yeah,
I remember I saw Blink-182 once, and like, and here's a new song because the studio is making us. It's like, okay, well,
that's a good way of doing
Blink-182
it.
was honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the studio mandated new song for you.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. Like that, Colin Robinson's still great in this episode, but he's just there as like an instigator. Like he doesn't have like a huge story arc in this one. It's just like, oh, I bet that I can get them to do something stupid and annoying. This would be great.
Yeah.
And of course he does, because they listen to Colin Robinson. No matter how much they don't want to, they always do.
Yeah, I never understood why they keep listening to him.
I think sometimes he feeds into their vanity.
Yep.
And that's sort of, it's like that silent hand behind the scenes that's sort of driving them subconsciously without them knowing, right? Because sometimes their dart is up so high that like he cannot penetrate it, but then he sneaks in under these points where they're not noticing, and that's his in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So while that's all going on, we have the story of Benji coming back, which was the familiar, probably not right before Guillermo, because Guillermo's been one for 11 years, and it sounds like Benji's been gone for quite a while. But one of the ones before.
I think it was the 70s when he got rid of him.
Oh, yeah, so he's been gone for at least 20 years plus.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
50 years.
Yeah.
The 70s was 50 years ago.
Jesus fucking Christ. Well, you don't know when this show's supposed to be taking place. We don't know for sure. Whatever. I'm just going to take a mulligan on that one anyways. But yeah, so Benji comes back, assuming that this has just been some grand test from his master, and now he's coming back, to finally be turned into the vampire, like Nandor promises.
Yeah.
And Nandor's just like, oh, well, he was a good familiar, but he just kept asking about becoming a vampire, so I got rid of him.
Although it was getting really annoying, so he just like wiped his memory and dumped him in the middle of Delaware.
Where he met a wife and he had kids and he had a really great life, and then now that's kind of like coming, closer to the end. He's like, nah, I want to be a vampire, like I was promised.
Well, the best thing about that though is the reason why he remembered it all. Like he's doing like I can't remember what the app was called, but it's basically doing like a brain training app.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. But Guillermo's not a huge fan of having Benji back, and it's a little awkward having two familiars there.
Well, especially when he finds out that he was beating off into his pillow.
Which says something about Nandor hasn't bought a new pillow in 50 years.
Or pillowcase.
Or pillowcase. Like, ugh. And why are you jerking off into your pillow? Like, what a weird person. I mean, I guess if you want to be a vampire familiar, you're already kind of a weird person. But still.
What else are you going to do?
Lots of things.
Anything else? Fuck, man.
It was the 70s.
They still had books. Anyhow.
Wait, you use a book?
Wait, I was going to say, you use a book.
How did I not see that coming? I walked in. Anyhow.
What do? Do you just close it around it and move it thing, or do you just sort of like hover over the top of the book?
Okay, I don't like how long we're lingering.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to move on.
Let's see how much of that ends up in the actual episode.
Well, now that Joel made it funny, a lot of it has to.
I can add some more stuff in if you need.
No, we're good. We're good. Moving ever so quickly along. So Guillermo and Benji go to a familiars mixer where like they kind of meet up with each other, and Guillermo kind of just kind of sets the tone of like, yeah, it turns out like it started as this way for like familiars to meet up and exchange like good familiar tactics, and it mostly just turned into a place for us like sad hookups, and like that girl who's just trying so hard to hook up with Guillermo, and he's just like, nah. Oh, poor thing. Like, why would you ever want to be a familiar? This seems like the most lonely existence ever.
Is that the same one as well at the end where Celeste goes, let's have an orgy, and she's the first one that's like puts her hand up? Is that the same person?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was.
She is ready to go. Yeah. Just poor thing. But yeah, so while they're at this meetup, I guess, for familiars, they run into Celeste, a quote-unquote former familiar who's been turned into a vampire, finally, by her master. And she's taking on all the familiars she can get. She doesn't poach, but, if you want to come work with her, she'll be your master. And then all of her familiars get turned within 8 months. 8 months, right? 8 or 6? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so all the familiars are like, oh, shit, I've been a familiar for like 10 years, and I've never been turned. This sounds great. So they go to hang out with Celeste, and I mean, maybe I'm the odd one out, maybe not. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to toot my own horn, but my bullshit meter went off the charts like from the second she showed up. And it wasn't even like I called that she was still a familiar almost immediately.
I didn't call that she was still familiar, but I did think she's just getting a shitload of familiars that she's just going to do exactly what all the other vampires do.
I remember, I don't think it was Chewy, it was somebody else who we talked about it, who was guessing, like, is either that they were just coming up, like, Celeste was making a human farm, like, she didn't want to go hunting, so she's just, like, locking up all of her familiars so she could keep eating them, or she's still a familiar. And I'm like, I thought she was still a familiar. Like, it had that ring of bullshit of shining on. For me, it was exactly when she started, like, with the blood vape, I think is where I called it.
The blood vape was brilliant.
Yeah, it's delicious to me, but not to you.
I might like it. No, you won't.
The red tint of it was perfect.
So good.
That little detail.
And I gotta say, like, Greta Lee, the girl who played Celeste, fucking crushes it. Like, she did a great job. My distaste for this whole sequence has nothing to do with her. I think it was just a great idea that they couldn't really figure out how to, like, turn into something hilarious.
I think the problem with it is really obvious that she's bullshitting from the get-go, and you kind of like, how did none of these familiars pick up on the fact that it's bullshit?
Well, they're so desperate. Like, they're just so desperate to become a vampire.
Suppose,
they just want to believe it. So, like, that I can get that, but it's still just I don't know how to describe it, but it just didn't work. Like, it never clicked. Like, even the stuff that I thought was funny, like Sam the cat is still there.
Yeah, I love that Sam the cat came back.
And like oh, you know Sam. Like, oh yeah, I know Sam. What's up, dude?
And it's like he did all the food and everything as well.
Yeah.
With his tiny paws.
And then when her master actually shows up and they're all just scattering, like, you just Guillermo, save Sam!
Yeah. Oh god, it looks so adorable in that little blanket thing, and he just wondering what that cat's actually thinking when they were filming this. It's just like, what's going on here?
I just had to chill here. All right, yeah, I can do that. But I did like that. I liked the reveal. I liked the everyone scattering, and who knows how many vampires just lost their familiars that night. Like, her master clearly just murdered as many as she could.
Yeah.
And lucky for her, she didn't get killed by Guillermo. I mean, if you're thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love that while all this is going on, and the only reason Guillermo's there is because he found out he had a better deal from her to become a vampire sooner. And Nando's like, all right, fuck you, then go.
Yeah.
And then after realizing how much it sucks not having him there, Nandor goes to, like, kind of crawl and ask for him to come back. And, like, he doesn't show up until after the master's been there and after the whole thing has been destroyed. So then Guillermo's outside, like, running for his life, and he's like, oh, hi. So
Yeah.
it's like, if you come back, I'll do what I can for you. And, like, if Nandor had just the inkless bit of awareness, all of his leverage is gone.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, Guillermo plays it as cool as he normally can at this point, which is like
Yeah.
still a shooken mouse through all of it. There's blood splattered on that bathrobe or whatever he's wearing, and he's clearly frazzled, but like he swallows his tongue a little bit and just he negotiates. Like he gets a day off a week.
And I love that.
And actual snacks, not just ice.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
Ice
that.
isn't snacks. That's debatable.
No, it's like, ice is not ice is not a snack. Disagree.
Oh, disagree. But I also just love that, like, he tries to throw it. Like, he not even tries. He does throw it back in his face. Like I want a day off. Like what? Like once a year? Like once a week. Celeste gives us once a week. That's ridiculous. So I guess I go back to Celeste then.
I love his reason as well. She just dresses herself on that one day.
Oh, it's good shit. But I
There's
think
a
that's
lot of stuff we haven't seen of like what Guillermo does as well. Because like we've never seen that he helps Nandor dress himself, but now that opens up the doors. Like, you know, you start thinking about the fact that, oh my god, every day Guillermo is helping Nandor get dressed, or he's dressing Nandor like he's a baby.
Yeah. Like Guillermo's life sucks.
Yeah.
And he's been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah.
Questionable decisions there, Guillermo. Questionable decisions. But circling back, so that's kind of the end of their story. So we still have to finish up the Laszlo and Nadia, where they decide to go to the open mic. Open mic doesn't go too well, at least initially, as they start playing their old hits.
Yeah, and they are, you know, the band name as well is just, you know, we are Nadia and Laszlo, the Human Music Group.
Like, how is Laszlo not picked up on the fact that humans don't put human in front of everything?
Yeah.
Like,
They all do it though.
They
Like,
all,
you know,
yeah.
even Nando does it. You know, we're just having a nice human shit together.
Oh, they're such idiots. But yeah, so then they start getting booed off the stage because of course they are. Their music sucks, and they start to play one of their older hits, you know, and suddenly it starts going very well. They start playing God, what song is it?
Kokomo.
It's a Kokomo. I'm like, I know it's a Beach Boys song. I'm like, how do they know all the words? I don't know, darling.
My favourite bit about that is just the look on Colin Robinson's face. Because, like, before he's been feeding and really enjoying it, and then he's, like, looking around going, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, they're all having a good time. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
What happened at dinner?
But that goes back into Colin Robinson's sort of uselessness in this episode. Just like you say, he's just a quiet observer for most of it, and he is not leveraged well. And I think that's the problem with this B arc in general. It's not just that, but like they have the sequences where Nadja and Laszlo are practicing, trying to come up with new music. They got that sort of like, you know, tension between each other because they clearly have two different musical styles or inclinations. And
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has Nadja's musical inclinations, but you know, sorry, keep going.
No.
What's that song that she mentioned in one of the earlier episodes? Like the little donkey.
The donkey with just one foot, something like that.
Yes,
Was that
donkey one or something?
Was that Baron's Night Out? Was that when
Yeah.
that was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that was a while back.
It
Yes. But like one of their songs was called Transformation. It was just them yelling bat
Oh, God.
over again.
Bat. I love it when
Oh
they're
my
writing the new songs as well, and you hit like one of the ones that Nadja comes up with. Documentary crew, I want to eat you so bad. And if you like, I noticed it on the second time I was watching it. Very subtly, the camera does a bit of it moves back a little bit when she starts singing that. It's really subtle, but it's like, you know, the sort of reaction of the camera.
Yeah,
Another thing I love about this show is like the little subtleties that they put in.
they've done camera crew stuff very well throughout the entire
Yeah.
series.
Like when the sound guy gets eaten, and then the sounds are like, you know, it's not right. It's like it's taken from the camera or something like that. It sounds really different.
Mm-hmm.
And without getting way into spoilers, I'm really not going to. Given how well they've done with the camera crew, I'm incredibly interested to see what they're going to do with season 4. Because season 4 is going to be very different than what's come before. If you're caught up, if you're not, I'm going to stop talking there. But I'm interested to see what they do with the camera crew.
Still haven't finished season 2 yet. I'm still
there
going
you go.
week to week. Well,
oh yeah, then you're way the fuck behind. So I won't spoil anything. But yeah, season 4 will be a little different, and I'm very curious to see what they do camera crew wise, because they've been so good about it so far. I can't imagine that's going to ignore the shakeup.
It's really hard not to talk about that right now.
I know, right? I'll shush up. All right. Is there anything that we've missed dramatically in this episode, or do you think we're good for favorite moments?
I mean, I just want to mention, just because I think it's hilarious, that Nandor calls golf Jolf.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't even know what Jolf is, and I know his name is Tiger Woods.
I love that Nandor's sort of like reconciliation gift is a new pillow.
Yeah.
And then
that they immediately drop.
Yes,
yeah.
and then I'm not going back for it.
I'm not going down to get it.
Okay, so let's jump into favorite moments then, because man, there are, for an episode that I don't think is that great, some of the lines in this thing are just fantastic, and mine, one of my absolute favorites, and it's clear, at least I could be wrong, I'm guessing it's a riffing line, because I don't believe with how much Laszlo has been boisterous of his love of the female body, is what I'll leave it at.
I know exactly what this is going to be.
The line is still hysterical. I call bullshit on it, but I still think it's hilarious. And it's Nadja and him back and forth, and they're talking about coming up with original music. And Nadja goes, "You haven't had an original idea since 1925, and you decided to go down on me for the first time in 200 years." Laszlo goes, "Biggest mistake I ever made." And Nadja just hits him immediately with this offended, "You said I tasted like goat's cheese."
And it's the look on Laszlo's face as well when the camera cuts back to him, and he's just looking at it like, yes, that's not a good thing.
Yes, I did say that, and I meant it. That's why it was the biggest mistake I ever made. But like I said, I also call bullshit on that line. Like, this guy wouldn't create an entire shrubbery thing devoted to women if he was
Women's
totally against
vulvas.
that. I mean, again, it's his favorite thing. I don't believe that's the last time he did it. You know, so that's all I'm saying. It's still a funny line.
Yeah, but
Matt, what about you?
That's typical of like an argument, though, isn't it? Like, you say things just like over the top things, which, you know, like, you've said this 1,000,000 times. Well, have they said it 1,000,000 times, really?
That's fair. That's fair.
So I've got two, and it's two of the songs, and I can't choose between the two. So I'll do one of them, and then if Joel doesn't do the other one, I'll swing around and do the other one at the end.
All right.
So it's just when they're going through all the old songs, and Laszlo plays this old one. And go, this one's even sung by. They use this one for a children's rhyme. Stroke, stroke, stroke your cock. Hurry, make it cream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life could use more cream. And then he immediately cuts to Nadja going, "What I love about it is you wouldn't expect it to rhyme cream with cream."
My moments are not songs, so if you got another one, go ahead.
Yeah, just go ahead.
I'll go. So then it's Nadja going, "Pole vaulting, long jumping, we're all quite impressed. Tell us, Mr. Hitler, what do you have planned next?" That's not aged that well. Oh, no, sorry. I'm not sure that's aged well. It's last.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
So
the
like
button moments. There's so many really good button moments in this episode, I think.
Yeah. All right, Joel.
So like I've got a couple too. So one of them is the old familiar. He's polishing Nandor's shoes, and like Nandor's angry basically because he's taking his sweet ass time, and the old familiar says something like, "Why don't we just get you new shoes? How are you supposed to boogie in these?"
I don't boogie anymore. Nobody boogies.
And then the other one is when Guillermo's leaving, Nandor mutters, like, "From Panera Bread you came, to Panera Bread you will return."
Oh my god, that's a good one. And there are some good lines in this one. Even if it's not my favorite episode, still still fucking what we do in the shadows. So still.
Well,
funny.
it's like what you were saying like about the trial. You know, the trial wasn't your favorite episode, but it had some hysterical lines.
Yeah,
and it's like
I mean,
line reading wise, it's probably the funniest episode of the whole series.
Oh yeah.
But it's
I won't put this one quite up there with the trial, but I see what you mean. Yes.
yeah. I'm not saying the lines are as funny as the trial, but it's that similar thing. Like you can have an episode that is incredibly hilarious, like it's got some brilliant lines, but on the same side, at the same time, it's not the best episode because it is just a lot of funny moments kind of together, like put together.
Yeah, that tracks. All right, I think we've done it, which means, sadly, we only have one more recording day of season 2. So that means next episode, if we do things properly, we'll have an answer for what's coming up after this. It'll either be more of this or maybe a different flavor of this. We might do Wellington Paranormal. I keep thinking about that one because I really, really, really love that show. If you have not watched Wellington Paranormal, it's based in the same world as the movie, which I guess would mean the same world as this, but it's still in New Zealand, so none of this will ever cross over. But it is goddamn hilarious, so it might be that. It might be something else. It might be nothing. Who knows? We'll have to figure that out.
I hope it's not nothing.
Yeah, I do too, but, you know, I got to be honest, you know, there's always a possibility of everything, so we'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out.
It sounds like you're asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, with that attitude, it's definitely going to be nothing. Bastard. Or, no, I'll just finally do that Sex and the City show I keep joking about.
You know what? Maybe we should
About
do
a Sex and
that.
the City show? Honestly, I'd still record it. I enjoy recording podcasts that much. I'd record it.
Just week after week of like, I don't think this shit's for us, man.
And then like every now and again it'd be like, yeah, but Chemical Trial is hot.
I mean, I guess there's that. I just don't really like this show. I don't give a shit about Big. It's like the one character I know their name.
Apparently, neither did the show. Didn't they kill him off in the?
Sorry, I thought you meant
they
about
kill
the
him off?
film.
I thought they did. I thought I read they did.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
To be fair,
Spoilers.
For everything that's come out about that actor, sounds like it was a good choice anyway.
Oh yeah, I've heard he's kind of a prick. So yeah, fuck you, Big. Anyhow,
Genuinely
It's a
keep
real-
thinking about the Tom Hanks film every time you say that. Like, you've got a serious problem with that Tom Hanks film.
I'm not sure if I do. I think that's more on you.
That's a very dated reference.
Yeah. Like at this point, I just think of Shazam when I think of Big, because it's like, you know, the same movie but with superpowers.
Well, yeah.
Any
never
hoozle,
even thought of
let's
it
move
like
into
that.
let's move into plugs so we can be done. This show and every other show on the ATH Network. Be sure to check out athpod.com. Demon Days should have recorded their new stuff by now. If not, I think they're recording this week. Be sure to check that out. 3 thirsty tiefling on the hunt to potentially stop the end of the world. And you can tune in every week to hear me as the Bullywug narrator. It's a ton of fun. I throw my voice out almost every time. And couldn't recommend it highly enough. And if you're not going to listen to that, be sure to check out Damage Boost, where Brock does his video game podcast. And it's incredible every week. That's it for me. Joel, what you plugging?
I am also part of a video game podcast called Super GG Radio. We talk about games old and new. We try out stuff that hasn't released yet, so you can keep an eye out on the cool new stuff. Also in a podcast called Afterthoughts with my wife Telly, we are currently doing a Tenanity Yankee and Teen Arthur's Court. I think I've said that about 6 times now in these recordings, but we're actually doing it now. Finally, you mentioned flashbacks. I was in a recent episode of that for the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Rings, where you can hear me gush about that movie, and I made a very bad attempt at humor at the start. So look forward to that.
So what's the difference between that podcast and this podcast?
Wow. You're throwing real shade today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Matt's going for the real shots.
2022, Matt is sassy.
Matt, what you plugging? Oh, nothing. Great. Anyhow, do you actually have a plug this week? That's what I thought. Anyhow, all right. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Be sure to tune in next week when we talk about what is the name of next week's episode?
Witches, I think.
Oh fuck! Is it Witches next week?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's
That's
either
real
Witches or The Witches.
Nope, it's Witches. Holy shit! What a good episode next
every
week.
time I watched it, like it kept going straight on to the next episode. It kept coming saying, "Next episode, Witches." I'm like, fuck no. I'm still trying to do the whole.
Might be one of my favorites of the entire season. Like I put this one up there with Decky Daytona. Like this one is high up there for me. I love this
Wow,
episode.
that is high praise.
Oh my god, this is a good one. So be sure to tune in next week when we talk about witches, because holy shit, is it good. All right, bye.
Bye.
Stroke, stroke, stroke the pot. Hurry makes the cream. Merrily, 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 life is monkey.
You just made it really awkward.